Okay, so now we can derive the first price index, which is commonly used by economists and which is also in many ways a preferred one, which is the GDP deflator. The GDP deflator is simply the the nominal GDP over the real GDP, and then you can still multiply times 100 to get an index where the reference year is 100. So what you see is again here in the numerator we have nominal GDP, where we calculate the output of all the final goods and services evaluated by their market price, and we divide it over the output of each year, but then always in reference to a base year. And again, this puts in the denominator something where prices didn't change, whereas in the numerator prices have changed. So if there was a lot of inflation, the ratio will become really high, and then we get a good index for the overall price level. And if we look at the changes between the years, then we can calculate inflation very well. Okay, maybe if that is still a little bit foggy, let's maybe go back to the example. And like I think maybe two videos ago, we calculated nominal and real GDP, and we had like for the nominal GDP in year 1 10 million and then 15.2 million, but real GDP didn't change. So now if we apply the formula for the GDP deflator, we see the base year, if we do 10 million over 10 million times 100, we get 100. In the base year, the GDP deflator is always 100. And now for the year 2, we have 15.2 over 10, which is 152. So now we said this is a stock and this is a stock. So this is a stock variable. But if you look at the change, then this is a flow. So the flow in this case would be inflation calculated based on the GDP deflator, and that flow is in percentage 52%. Right? So how do we calculate the percentage change of something? So the percentage change formula is essentially the new value minus the old value over the old. Okay, so the new value is year 2. So we do 152. The old value is 100. So 152 minus 100, that's 52, over the old value 100. So then we get 0.52 or 52%. And of course the percentage change formula, if you want to, can also be calculated like this, because this is obviously new. I just use N and O now, N over O minus 1. So we could use this too. So in this case, we just would have 152 over 100, new minus old, minus 1, and then we get 1.52 minus 1, which of course is also 0.52. But the point is that if we look at the change from one stock variable to the other one, then we get the flow, and that is the rate of change. So inflation is a flow variable, and the GDP deflator is a price index. And that is the most popular indicator that we have for measuring inflation. But there's another one, which is the consumer price index, but this is something we will do in the next video.